Welcome to Where There's a Wills.
There's a planet.
My name's Ian.
I'm Stacey.
And that would be Sitka. We tried tonight to not have him be rambunctious, but he's gonna be a little bit of a pain, it seems like, right now.
He's needy.
But anyway, we are here with our weekly five and dime, and this is our five and dime for BGG ratings of 7.0 to 7.24 as we make our way through our ratings videos. We split this one from the 7.25 to 7.5, which you can find on our channel because we had a lot of games in this, and I just realized our lighting is really bad. So I'm gonna be right back, and I forgot to turn.
I guess I'll keep you entertained for a little while. Hi, my name's Stacey. Thank you for joining us this evening. I'm a Leo.
You are?
Yes, I am a Leo.
Okay. I'm a Cancer, so I'm not sure what that is doing, but sure. All right. Anyway, so as always with these 5 minutes, sorry, the lighting, we had the wrong lighting on. I forgot to turn our nice lights on. So let's get that. So it's okay. All right. As with all of our 5 and dimes, the way we do this, I consider myself a mid-complexity casual gamer, and I do some solo gaming.
I am a non-gamer gamer who does some non-gamer playing.
Basically, what that means is she just likes games that we can get out pretty quick, play. Not a whole lot going on, but she does like to play games still. So
I like games where you have fun.
Yeah.
And there's not a whole lot of math or complexity.
She doesn't want stuff that you're sitting there thinking too much and taking a lot of time to do all of your turns. So when we do these, because I also play a lot of solo and I've got kind of a lot more games, I do my top 10 and then I'll give you my honorable mentions, 5 honorable mentions that were kind of the next 5, but just going to put those in alphabetical order because I do play more games. I had 37 games on this ranking alone.
I had, I believe, 21, but the second page didn't print.
And then how many are you going to give? You're going to give your top 5.
I'm going to give my top 5, and then 6 through 10 I'll give to you in alphabetical order so that there's no bias from 6 to 10.
Yeah. So we're giving you a total of 25 games, but really the top we've got 15 that are ranked, and then just you might see some stuff like in my honorable mentions that are in her top 5, or her honorable mentions that are my top 10 that might go, okay, that one they both enjoyed. So sorry, I've been fighting this cough forever. I got a cough drop in right now. All right.
Crunchy.
Yeah. Trying to get rid of it. All right. So let's get going. My honorable mentions. My first honorable mention is a game that is new to me in the last couple months. I got this for my board game club, but also because I've started up a Wellness Wednesday for workers at school on Wednesdays, where we just quickly come in and we play a game or two for like 15-20 minutes, and that is Blob Party. Blob Party is a really fun game. You're trying to match answers with other people. Everybody starts with a blob. You have a name or a word and a category, and you're trying to match. You're trying to match with other people and blob, and hopefully you can all get blobbed at the very, very end. A lot of fun, a lot of silliness. That would be Blob Party. My next one, and I think Stacey's going to be really shocked on this one, is Diced Veggies.
That's not your top 5?
That's not in my top 10.
I'm a
So Diced Veggies, I won't talk too much. Basically, you have some dice that represent different vegetables. You're chopping away to make recipes. I'm sure this one's going to be talked about later, so I'm not going to talk too much about that one. I do like this game. That may come up in conversation later in shocking fashion of stuff. Next one is another tile laying game, and that is Donut Shop. Donut Shop, you are placing 2x2 tiles down that have 4 donuts on them, and you have to put them next to matching donuts, and then you can box them up and earn points. It's a lot of fun. I really enjoy this game though, so it's an honorable mention. Just fell out. The next one is another tile laying game. Wow, lots
Move
of
my
tiling in.
water out of the
And that
way.
is New York Zoo. And even though I've not had this one to the table for quite some time, I really like this game. With the polyominoes and the breeding of the animals, it's one that I need to really get taught at school so the kids can start playing this one and play this with more than two people. Um, really fun. You're just trying to fill your zoo. First person to fill their zoo wins. So that would be New York Zoo. And my final one, these lists would not be, where is it? Oh, it probably wouldn't be a list if one of these is in this area without a Ticket to Ride. Ticket to Ride is one of the games that brought us into this hobby. The city editions make it a little bit more accessible, a little easier to get to the table. We do have all the cities and most of the other maps. This is by far my favorite city edition. The base game is played exactly the same. And then the unique thing about this one is there's districts, and if you connect the districts, you earn points based on which districts they are. So that would be Ticket to Ride London. Those are my honorable mentions.
Wow. So first I have to say that this was a really hard list for me.
Yes,
Because the
yes.
majority of my favorite games are in this range. So now I know exactly where my range lies. So a lot of this came down, like when I was judging or not, whatever they call
Ranking
it, ranking them.
against each other.
I was having some issues, and basically it came down to a couple of different things. It came down to accessibility, how easy it was to get to the table, and how long it took to play. Because my attention span is not that long. And then if they were both easy to get to the table and they were both, fast playing games, and it came down to artwork for me. So depending on which one I wanted to look at while I was playing and which one I enjoyed looking at the
Theme and
most.
mechanics a little bit. Yeah. But I,
I
but
don't
I,
really care about the theme on some of them. I just like,
yeah.
oh my gosh, this is the cutest game ever.
I
And
think
so I judge that one over the top of another
I,
ones.
I think though, as a non-gamer, that kind of makes sense though. To like, which ones are the most accessible? Like, so which one? Okay, this one. These I like both these. Which one's a little more accessible that I can get to play? Okay,
So
I'm
that's
interested
how
to see what
I
your
ranked
honorable mentions are.
this list. And this was so hard for me. Oh
It,
my gosh. I
these
almost
are always
cried.
these are this was tough for me.
I almost cried.
I actually did mine twice because something happened where I must have hit the button and it ranked a whole bunch at once. And then I went to look at my ranking. I'm like, oh, that's interesting that that made the top 10. And then um, I looked at the bottom. I'm like, wait, how are these four games that are in the bottom six down here? Because they should definitely be in the top 15. So
Yeah.
anyway, so I had to redo all mine, and this was tough. Tough. So
So
let's see
my
your
6 through 10 in alphabetical order. This was really hard for me. So my number, well, 6 through 10
first one in
alphabetically.
alphabetical order.
Nice veggies.
Wait, you just gave me you just
I just gave you shade for putting this in your yes.
oh wow. Okay, I'm
So
more surprised it's not in your top five than not in my top 10.
yes.
Actually,
So the I won't tell you why I ranked this one out of my top 5. I love this game. I love everything about this game. But it was not in my top 5. Sorry, Dice Veggies. I love you, but not as much. Um, then my next one in alphabetical order is Donut Shop.
wow.
I love me a good donut. Believe me, raspberry filled is my favorite. If anybody wants to send me some, I would gladly take raspberry filled donuts.
Some powdered sugar on top.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You know, I think my favorite thing about this game is boxing the donuts, because the bigger the box of donuts you have, the more points it's worth. And so I always try and get as many donuts in my box and maybe slide an extra one in there for free. But anyway, that's not the point of this game. Um, Point of this game is to have your bakery boxes full as much as
Make the
you
most
can.
points. Yep.
Make the
That is
most
a fun one.
points.
That one is
It's fun. My next one, I think this is going to surprise Ian beyond anything. My next one is Monstrosity. Now, I am a terrible drawer, but I can explain and I can tell you what the monster looks like nobody's business. But I can't draw word beans, and so that was my downfall for monstrosity. But I do enjoy this game. It's silly, it's quick, it's just, non-thinker. Just bring it out to the table, have some fun, have a few laughs. Monstrosity.
We have some fun with it even with two players. Just describing.
Yes.
I mean, it becomes more of an activity
We've
for us.
adapted it to two players.
We have access to that one through my board game club at school.
Yes.
Same thing with Blob Party, like I said.
And
That is a surprise.
Yeah. And my next one is actually a surprise that it wasn't in my top 5 for me personally. And that is Shelby Stacker. Now I know how hard it is for Ian to get his games in the shelf and how difficult it is to fit them where they need to go and where to find where it needs to go. And this is exactly what that game is about. It's different characters trying to do different things, different powers on those cards, drawing dice. I really like this game. Apparently not enough to put it in my top 5, but it's a fun game. Honorable mention, so I shan't complain. Can you put that back for me?
Yep.
And then my next one of my last honorable mention is a big box game. Zen Garden. I really like this game as well. It doesn't it's not as hard as it looks. If you look at the back of the box, you're trying to make these paths, you're trying to get the paths to match. The more paths you match or different ways that you do it, if you get more points. I don't know what that's called, where you take out the last row, you move everything down.
Yeah,
I'm sure there's a word for that I don't know.
It's almost like a conveyor belt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're shopping at Walmart, put up all your stuff on a conveyor belt. They take it, put the next stuff up, they take it. So, the Walmart of my gaming's Zen Garden. And that is my 6 through 10 in alphabetical order.
And we forgot to say how many of, and it's kind of a little spoiled now based on a couple of these. How many of your top 5 do you think are in my top 10?
My top 5 are in your top 10?
Yes. Did you? Think?
Yes, I wrote it down on black with a black pen. So I put 3.
You think 3 of your top 5 are in my top 10? Okay. I think 4 of my top 10 are in your top 5. So we'll see who's right. And none of them were the things you mentioned already. Mainly because Dice Veggies was not in my top 10. So we'll talk about surprises and stuff on our lists when we get done.
All right.
All right. And so I'm going to quickly go through my 10 through 6 so we can get into our top 5s. So my number 10 is a game from Bad Comet Games, and that is Wild Serengeti. I really like this game. I like this game 2-player. I like this game solo. I like the scenarios in this game. You're placing animals out. You are wildlife photographers. You're placing animals out. You're trying to get them in different orientations, whether it's in straight lines, whether it's next to other things, whether it's in certain habitats. And you're trying to take pictures of them to fulfill some cards to build your tableau and earn points that way. There's also some other scoring with in the 4th and 6th round. You have some animals you want to have in your on your cards, and you get some bonus scoring. First place gets 2 points for everyone they have. Second place gets 1 for everyone they have. And then rounds 4 through 6, it's played over 6 rounds. You get 6 turns each. You get 6 coins in the first 3 rounds and 7 in 4 through 6. In 4 through 6, there's also the Great Migration, where you flip a card over and a bunch of animals may come off the board. I really like this one. It's a lot of fun. I love the solo scenarios. I mean, I enjoy playing this with Stacey. She says she doesn't like it, but until this summer, she had beat me every single time we played. So, I don't know.
Say I didn't like it.
Oh, you gave a kind of a grimace when I pulled it up.
No, I was just surprised.
Oh, said it was that low?
Yeah.
Or that was in the top 10?
I don't know.
Welcome to everybody who's here. We got 3 people live right now with us.
Ooh.
Say hi. What do you think of the games we're talking about here? My number 9 is a flip and right game that I learned this summer. It has some multi-use cards, which I'm really starting to like multi-use cards. And that is Pioneer Rails. This was on my flip and right 5 and dime when I did a flip and right, roll and right 5 and dime this summer. In this game, you are trying to make your best trails around here, your rail lines. They're multi-use cards in the fact that you use the suit or the color to or the suit to move to extend your rail lines from that suit on the board, and then you are also using the value to make poker hands, which give you some extra bonuses. It's a lot of fun. You get some bonuses. You get some bonuses when you surround certain things, either 2, 3, 4 times. I really like this one. It's pretty quick to get to the table. So that is Pioneer Rails. Hey, honey lady, how's it going? Thanks for joining us again. My number 8 is one Stacey kind of quickly talked about on her honorable mentions. That is Zen Garden. Zen Garden, I really like this. This is not a game you hear about. I think maybe we'll have to do a playthrough of this at some point on a Wednesday with the Wills, is because this is not a tile game that I hear anybody talking about. The reason it's in our collection is 2 years ago I was looking for a few letters for my alphabet challenge, and Stacey actually found this one. And I'm like, that looks kind of fun. And yeah, so like Stacey was saying, you have a 4x4 grid here that you are placing tiles from, and you're placing them. There's 3 different things on them. There's a path type, there's a floor type, and then there's some little symbols. I can't remember what those are called off the top of my head. But you get some scoring based on those. The game differs every time. You can kind of see here. There's 5 different levels to the scoring track. You always play with this, and then you can add these other ones in. We've gotten the first 3 on, but they just add some different scoring, and I really like that. This has been kind of a surprise hit because it is not one that
A lot of people talk about.
I have heard nobody talk about this game, so I want to get this one to the table more. I want to do a playthrough of this, so it's out there. So that is Zen Garden.
Found that Googling games that start with Z.
Yeah. And number 7. So that was my number 8. Number 7 is a game we just learned this year. That is Mlem Space Agency. This is a push your luck game where you are cats going into space. You're rolling dice and you are trying to move along your track. The thing is, you can only move based on if you roll the dice that it shows next to the spot you are on at any time. You can jump off. You have, excuse me, you have some different cat abilities which allow you to go forward or backwards or roll a dice again. So it's a push your luck game. Try to go as far as you can, score as many points. I really like this one. Another mechanism that kind of just came to us this year, really. We have a couple push your luck games that we realized, but finding out we really like push your luck games. And speaking of push your luck, my number 6 is another push your luck game that we played last week on our Wednesday with the Willses. We got this one. We got through this. We got through this before we had some technical issues with Bears of East. That is Toil and Troubles by Grandpa Bex. This is a really fun push your luck game as well, where you are dealing cards out, or you're grabbing cards one at a time from a face down pile to put them into one of 3 rows. You can't have the same color next to each other. You can't have the same number next to each other. At any time, you can pick up the cards. If you go too far, you can't pick anything up. After your turn is over, the other person does get to take one from the ends of one of them. There's also some special magicians who give you some different abilities. But it's a lot of fun. This one came just ahead of Mlem on the push your luck for me, because this one I feel is more you are pushing the luck instead of you don't have quite the randomness of the dice. It's like, okay, do I think I can put something on here? Yes, I do. So I did not have good luck pushing my luck on this one for a bit of that game the other day. But that is my 10 through 6. Wild Serengeti, Pioneer Rails, Zen Garden, Mlem Space Agency, and Toil and Troubles. Now we are moving on to the top 5.
Which will probably start with me.
Yes.
All right. So, again, These are my favorite games. It was really hard, so I don't hope I don't disappoint anybody but
You won't.
myself. All right, so my number 5 is a game that I didn't know I liked, and the first time I played it, I didn't really like it. But I liked it, but I didn't like the theme of it. But then I played it again, and I liked the theme of it, and then I liked the gameplay of it. And Ian just got done talking about it. And that's Toils and Troubles by Grandpa Beck. Um, I like the push your luck aspect of this. And I won last time. I think we're tied 2-2.
I'd have to look.
I
I'm
think.
not sure.
Um, yeah, so he said everything there is to say. I think the artwork on it's really cute, and that's what it came down to for me on this one. So, Toils and Troubles, good family game, easy to get to the table. It's just a bunch of cards that I'm pouring all over the table. Um, yeah,
All right. Okay.
easy to get to the table, easy to play, kid friendly, as all Grandpa Beck cards games are.
Okay. My number 5, I think Stacey's gonna be a little surprised. Not necessarily that it's on my top 10 or an honorable mention, but that it's number 5. And that is a game from Stonemeyer, and that is the one that I have through my board game club at school, and that is My Little Scythe. I've never played Scythe. I have no desire to play Scythe. It looks way too big, way too complex to me. But I got this for my board game club at school, and I have had some really fun playing this game. Basically, you're moving your characters around, you're collecting different things, you're having pie fights. You can attack to try and get stuff from people. You're trying to deliver gems and apples. You're trying to upgrade your abilities. It's a lot of fun. I've had some really amazing games at 4 players, 5 players, and 6 players with the kids at school, and I just really like this game. I really do. I like everything about it. It's got some great little miniature characters,
Oh, the characters are my
which if
favorite.
I could paint, I would get them painted. Although I don't think I would want a painted version at school. I'm not sure those would last, but they're just it's just I don't know, it's a really fun game, and it's been a lot of fun playing with kids, and I think maybe that's one reason that it's kind of jumped up is just the fun I've had with the kids and the fun the kids have had. So sharing this with with the next generation and stuff, and the younger and the kids and my 4th and 5th graders, um it's made it a lot of fun for me. And Stacey and I have played it as well. We had to learn it and stuff. So that was My Little Side. That's my number 5.
It's a good choice. My number 4, I think this one is going to surprise Ian. It surprised me, and this came down between this and a couple other games, and it won because it has animals. Ian said I didn't like this game.
No, you just gave a weird look when I said it.
That's because it was in mine. Well, Serengeti. I absolutely love the artwork in this. I love that lions can attack zebras. Actually, I don't love that, but
There's some kind of meta stuff that we've noticed on the cards. They did a really good job theming the cards.
yes. But I love when the elephant's in the tree.
Yeah.
That's also my favorite.
I think he's just under it probably, but
Yeah,
you got to place it in.
You got to place it in the tree. Elephants don't have knees, but anyway, I love this game. I love the artwork. It's not that easy to get to the table, and so that's why
it's pretty big.
It's
got a pretty big
lot of, for me, it's got a lot of aspects to go to it. Different cards laying around. You got the little rock of
the board's big enough itself, and then you have the other board that has the animals on it. Then you have um the rock, which I don't remember what they call it.
where the Lion King stands.
Exactly. Um, and then you have all of your cards on it, so it does take up quite a bit of space on our table. So when it does get out,
It stays.
it stays for a while. I usually get a couple solo scenarios in. We get a couple games in. We should. So the scenarios you can play cooperatively, and there's different scoring. So there's scenarios that I play when I play solo. So it has you do different things, and so like after every round you have to have a certain number of points. But you can play those cooperatively, and these scores are a little bit higher. So it might be kind of interesting next time we get that out to play. That one, yeah, that one's a fun one. It is a little tougher because it does take up a large portion of our dining table, which is where we film right now as well. So it's our only space. All right, that was your number 4. Okay.
Yes.
My number 4. I think Stacy's gonna be surprised that this one is not higher
looking
on
at
my
my
list.
section over here.
My number 4 is a tile laying game that I really enjoy. I first played this one solo, and I really enjoyed it solo. And then I thought Stacy might enjoy it, so I introduced it to her, and I actually like playing it multiplayer even more, because you can work in 2 different places. So Beacon Patrol is a game where you are controlling a boat and you are moving around the ocean. And when you place a tile, you have to move onto it. So you have to be able to move onto the water. Then you have some propellers that allow you to kind of move without placing a tile. And you're trying to surround the buoys and the lighthouses and the islands and different things so that you can earn points. Just a fun game. And solo, it really is a brain crunch, because once you start going one way, it's really hard to get back somewhere else. In 2-player, you can kind of be working on multiple places of the thing, and you can exchange things back and forth. Hey Jeff, thanks for catching up, or thanks for joining us. And then we just played this last month with the expansion, and man, I love the expansion. The expansion is a lot of fun. It adds 6 or 7 new boats, and then you can use one of the boats from the original game. But each boat now has its own ability. So like there's a hovercraft which allows you to go over land onto lakes. There's and then what it does with each boat, there's some different tiles that you add into the game. So now some of the tiles from the original game, the piers and the what was the other one? The piers and whatever the windmills. Those now go with one of the boat powers. So you only put those in when you are using the boat powers. But yeah, the new boats are amazing in this. We played it twice, so we played with 4 of the boats. There's one that's like it's a submarine, and you have sunken tiles, which was kind of an interesting aspect. So a lot of fun. That's Beacon Patrol. Very quickly, kind of moving up on my. And this is a cozy game. This will be a weeknight game. Maybe we'll play this one someday. We'll do we could do Beacon Patrol and Zen Garden one night, possibly as a tile. We could do some tile.
It's like an hour long, it said on the box.
Maybe.
Or was that?
If we play just the base, So that is Beacon Patrol, my number 4.
My number 3 has a cute theme. I like the artwork. I like the aspect of playing it. It's not super hard to set up. And this is no surprise to Ian, I'm sure. Gnome Hollow. Gnome Hollow, you are laying down tiles and you're trying to build a path with the rock garden. You gotta purchase stuff. I don't remember. I'm not one of those people who can just pick up a game and tell you, because I have to play it like 10 minutes ago in order to remember the whole thing. How these people can not play a game for a year and then just tell you exactly what to do with it is beyond me. But
you should watch some of the bigger name content creators, because they stumble through stuff as well. And it always makes me feel good when they do, because I'm like, they play a lot more games. They go to all the conventions. They do stuff, and they still stumble through what they're trying to say. I know, but they still stumble through stuff that they're saying, so it's okay.
But anywho, you gotta collect your treasures. Basically, comes down to collecting treasures. The person with the most treasures and the most points at the end wins. But it's a tile laying game. I always play with the pink gnome because she's a winner. Gnome Hollow.
Good game. Good game.
Thank you.
Yeah, Jeff, Blob Party would be great for student orientation where you work. That'd be a lot of fun. I've played with kids, so when I'm playing that with 4th and 5th graders, I always have to think like them. And so I'm like, okay, what are they gonna say? Because it's always kind of interesting. But it's a lot of fun. So moving on to my number 3. My number 3 is a deck building game, and I think Stacy's probably surprised this one's above the last one. This is a lot of fun, and this is Summer Camp. So summer camp I got for my board game club last year as well, and then we had already had it on our shelf. I got it on a super deal at Target the summer before, and then it sat there. You know, we got games that sit for quite a while sometimes, and I got to learn this so I could teach it. Man, it was an instant hit. The back is on backwards, which is driving me crazy because I'm trying to look
I
at
just
it.
noticed that.
And and so you have different paths. You have three different paths, but there's 9 different tiles that you place down. So the paths change every time. So where different bonuses are on the paths and how they're aligned and which one is which change. So it's great because that leads to a lot of variability. Then you have 7 different activities and you're only choosing 3 of them each time. So that leads to more variability. So you're trying to build your deck of cards so that you are getting the powerful stuff that you need to be able to move and also earn some extra bonuses along the way quicker without adding too much extra stuff. This game, the first time we played it, we loved it, and we've played it several times. And it's just a lot of fun. I taught it to kids at school last year, using just the 3 starter decks that they suggest because I try to make things as accessible as possible with them. And so, yeah, summer camp, my number 3.
Yeah, fix
I'm
that
I'm
right
I'm
there.
sure people watching completely. I know, Jeff. It was only number 7. It fell down.
Well, I'm glad that Jeff brought that up. Jeff, you and I think alike, my friend.
We got 4 people on right now at the same time
Oh,
on the
where
live
is it?
stream.
So, this is no surprise to anybody who has been watching me. Mlem. Ham, as I love to say it. You can't say it without making cat noises.
There you go, Jeff. She's got you covered.
Number 2 on the old Stacey chart. I love this game. I love the press your luck aspect of it. I love the cats. I love the cards. I love the artistry. I love the theme, even though I'm not a space type person. I've only ever seen Star Wars once. I was 5 years old and I fell asleep. And this is about as close to Star Wars as I come.
Yeah, I guess.
So this is a really fun game for gamers, non-gamers alike. I don't want to brag, but I did get to the top, and I won the points on that
Yeah,
one.
she did.
I
She
rolled
made it a
and
top.
rolled and rolled and rolled.
I've seen that happen twice. Once on BGA when we learned it, and Stacy did it, and I was like, oh, and I jumped off too soon. I jumped off early because I'm like, okay, I want this, and she pushed her luck and she went
Yeah.
all the way to the top.
I think I want to play this game this weekend. But anyway, Lem, my number 2.
All right. My number 2 is another game from Stonemeyer Games. Um, I think anytime this is in a list, it's going to be in my top 10. It is my number 1 roll and write game. That is Rolling Realms. Rolling Realms is a game where you have different cards that represent different games. They have an aspect of that game, and you play with 3 at a time. You play 3 rounds, and then you're just rolling dice, and you're trying to manipulate the dice to put them in the right spots to score the most points and get the most stars, but also get some hearts and pumpkins and what is it? Hearts and pumpkins and why can I not think of the third resource? Oh, and coins to help you along the way. Pumpkins can help you change the value of dice. Hearts allow you to copy dice. Coins allow you to make new dice and do things. So Rolling Realms, a lot of fun. There's so many realms. I've done a individual playthrough for every one of the realms in this game on the channel. If you like Rolling Realms and want to see those. Yeah, I'm looking forward to playing the RRR Ball solo mode from Redux, and then I still have to get Beyond the Realm Reverse to the table, which I've not done so yet. So Rolling Realms, my number 2, and I have this on the wrong way too. So
How do you spell tennis?
mine,
Since I've never played that game in my life.
right?
All right, so now we're down to my number 1 game. I don't even know if this is going to be a surprise to you.
No. Oh, she's faking it. It's over there.
Summer camp. My number one game. I love this game because it doesn't get a lot of people talking about it. I've never seen anybody else that when I watch videos when he's playing them and there's nothing else to listen to but his gaming YouTube things going. I've never heard anybody talk about summer camp. Um, I really enjoy this game. It makes me very homesick when I play it because I went to summer camp several years in a row and I've made such good friends there. Summer camp. The replayability on this is just absolutely amazing. You get what, 7 or 8 different activities that you can
7 different activities.
play, but you only play 3 of them at a time. So you can mix and match the activities that you want to play. It does take up a lot of space on your board, but that's okay with me on this one because it's so much fun. I like earning the badges, you buying the marshmallows so that you can earn other things. This was my very first deck building game that I ever played. Except for Slapjack, and I don't know if that counts. Is Slapjack a deck
I
building
have
game?
no idea.
You don't know Slapjack?
I have no idea if it's a deck building. I have to think about what Slapjack is. No, because that's not really deck
That's
building.
getting rid of your deck, I
No,
guess.
yeah,
I don't know.
that's a shedding. I think that would
Yeah, I
probably be
don't know.
considered a shedding game where you're trying to get rid of what you have.
But yeah, we bought this at a buy one get one free sale at Target, and
I
it
don't even
sat
think
on
it was
our
that.
shelf.
I think it was like literally on sale.
I don't
And
know.
I got it. I picked it up one time. She
And it
wasn't with
sat on
me.
our shelf
It
forever.
did. It sat on the shelf for a year.
Over a year.
Well, I got it in the
It doesn't
just
matter.
over, yeah.
But anyway, summer camp, I highly advise people to play this game. It's underrated in my opinion.
Good entry level deck building game for sure. Good entry level deck building game if you want to try and introduce that to someone who's a non gamer or someone who's never played that. Um, One thing we didn't mention was like each one of the decks are similar in like the in are similar into like how many spaces they let you move and things, but each deck is very well themed. Like when you have a theme, it makes sense for that deck. So each deck does have a little different things going on it. So it's a lot of fun. They're the theme, the activities that are in them, the cards. Some of them are simple as you're moving forward 1, 2, 3 spaces, but then once that you go through some different things and you're like, oh, that's kind of cool. That's really makes sense for the cooking or the outdoor, whatever the theme of the deck is. So those are
Yeah.
the really good theme. All right, my number one game in BGG's game from
2 for a month. That's right.
7.0. Oh yeah, Jeff gave you a big congrats, right? To 7.24, and I will say these were all printed off like 3 weeks ago when we started this. So some games have kind of moved up and down a little bit. So we wanted to keep it consistent with this. My number one game, Stacey's talked about, is Gnome Hollow. Um, when it came down to it, and I was looking at this versus some other games, I really like this game. Like they said, you're laying tiles, but you're laying tiles to create these mushroom paths. You have 2 workers. So you have to be very careful where you place them. You can place them on a path to reserve it so that once the path finishes, you earn those mushrooms, but you also then get to move your little marker on your personal board to a space for how many tiles you went across on your path. And then you get some bonuses there. So it's like you want to try and get long ones, but you also know the longer the path, the longer your gnome is sitting there. But then you can get some signposts which go in the middle, so then you can put your gnome in the middle of a path to earn those. You can get flowers. You're collecting mushrooms, and then you can go to the market. You can sell the mushrooms and for different points. The cool thing about that is if I were to sell 5 blue mushrooms, Stacey can't because a little marker goes on there and only one person can do each one of each color. So I like that because you're kind of looking to see what the other person's getting. You're like, oh, if they finish their path, they're gonna get those next two purples to be able to get the thing that I really need, and I can't get any more purples, so now I'm gonna have to either go less or I'm gonna have to go for a lesser one, or I'm gonna have to try to work for another purple to get a larger one. So that's it's a very unique, and I mean it's got a magnetic board. So that's really cool. We played it several times. We only played on the basic side of the board. There is a flip side to the player board, which you have to get specific orientation, specific pass. So on the one side, it's just like there's uh four spots for a seven or more path, four spots for a six, four for a five. But on the back side, there's actually like you need a seven that like goes like this or whatever orientation they are. So Gnome Hollow, this one is shooting up my list real quickly for the year. This one, I mean, this, this one will be on my top 10 for 2024 easily. Easily will be on my top 10 for 2024. That's, I mean, I've ranked it pretty high in a lot of lists this year that we've done.
And we did an initial impressions video on this one as well.
I think we did, yeah. Yeah. So Gnome Hollow, my number one game in the 7.0 to 7.24 BGG rating. This one we could possibly do a playthrough of that some night on a Wednesday with the Wills.
We got lots of playthroughs to
Yeah,
do.
we got lots of stuff, you know. Well, we're doing our Wednesday with the Wills every other.
And you said that that's on BGA now.
It is. It is on BGA now. Yes, Jeff, we will definitely play it. It's a great game. It's a fun game. So there was our list. Surprises. Start with what surprised you on your list?
Wild Serengeti, that it was number 4. That was my only surprise.
That it made your top 5.
Yeah.
What about that didn't make your top 5? Anything that you thought was gonna be in there that kind of surprised it fell into your honorable mentions?
My donut shop.
Yeah.
I love me a good donut shop. Diced veggies.
Okay.
I guess.
I was surprised. I'll say the same thing. I was surprised Wild Serengeti made your top 5 and that either Diced Veggies or Donut Shop wasn't. I was kind of surprised.
Shop did make my top 5.
No, it was an honorable mention.
Oh yeah, see?
Yeah, see, that's what you just said.
I'm getting old.
I was pleasantly surprised Zen Garden was in your honorable mentions, just knowing all the games. I wasn't sure it was gonna be, so that one that one being in yours.
So the thing with Zen Garden that made it not get in a better ranking for me is that I'm fine with the original little square, but when you start adding the roof on.
Well, you have the first roof
Yeah.
for the scoring. The second one, I don't think you were to. We added the third one. We haven't even added the fourth or fifth one yet.
Yeah, it's a little too much for me. That's where I start.
Which is fine because I think one roof is fine. Two, I mean the two wasn't too hard. The two added the whoever had the most of a color, I think it was, or something.
I can't.
I don't remember exactly what it was. You had to put 2 tiles up there.
Yeah, but that kept it from being higher ranked on my list.
That makes sense. So, because it can get that complex, but yeah. That's it. So that was I would say those surprises. I was surprised not looking at your list that actually I'm kind of surprised Gnome Hollow was so high. I actually did not think that was going to be in your top 5.
Oh.
I don't know why. I think I just thought it was a little much for you for some reason.
Well, okay. So again, this boils down to artistry of the game. Now, mushrooms.
No, the mushrooms, no.
I am highly allergic to mushrooms, and they can send me into the emergency room.
But they're cute gnome mushrooms.
But they are cute little gnome mushrooms. They're not like realistic looking mushrooms, so it worked its way into my heart.
Okay. All right. My surprises on my list. My Little Scythe being so high. What was a little surprise. Zen Garden into my top 10 and like at number 8 was a little bit of a surprise. Dice Veggies not making my top 10. If you had told me, I would have figured Dice Veggies did. This was, like I said, this was very tough. This was very tough. There were some games in the 16 through the 20 range that I was a little surprised didn't move into an honorable mention at least. Blob Party being in there, but that one's been just a lot of silly fun, and it's gotten some other adults just to take a little time to them for themselves after school on some Wednesdays to come and play. And those people have come back every week to try some other party games.
Play that, but you can't play it with 2 people.
No, you really can't. Unfortunately, we can try and figure out. I don't think you can even adapt that for 2 because you have to match your thing. So
I don't play games outside of my comfort zone. I'm one
and
of
this is
those
the comfort
people.
zone.
Here's our comfort zone here.
Although our neighbors did say they would like to have us over sometime to play, so maybe we could. That could be something we could take over there if we do.
Okay.
You know that I could grab some of the party games I have at school because that'd be the only time we'd probably play them with more than 2.
Okay.
And yeah, I think that was kind of my biggest surprises. What surprised you on my list?
I don't remember your list, but let me look. Even though that was just 10 minutes ago. It really doesn't surprise me. I am kind of surprised that My Little Scythe came in so high. I didn't realize you liked that game that much.
Like I said, I think it's probably just the joy of playing it that I've had with the kids.
Yeah.
Like
that.
the experiences I've had with it, especially last year on Global Play Day when I played it with 3 different groups, and most of those weren't in my board game club, and just the way the game's played and the kids having fun with it. I think it really now will it stay up there? I mean, if we do this next year, I would be surprised if it's still that high, depending on how much I played it. But I've just got that great memory from Global Play Day last year with the kids. I mean, I haven't played it since, but it really did. It was a lot of fun playing it with the kids that day, and I've played it a couple of times with the kids last year, so that one was a lot of fun.
Nice.
Yeah. So next week we will be back with our 6.5 to 6.99. And then Thanksgiving week, we will be here Friday night of Thanksgiving week with our 6.0 to 6.49. And then we have one more of these after that, right at the beginning of December, which will be below 6.0, which those lists I think are going to get kind of fun. Those lists.
Looking forward to those.
Yeah, those ones I'm looking forward to too because, just because other people don't rate them as high, it doesn't mean they're not good games. And then we've got our and then before we know it, we'll be doing our November month in review. We've got a Wednesday with the Wills coming up this next week. We're still kind of toying with an idea, but I think we are probably going to play Race to the Raft. And with the Kickstarter expansion to kind of stick with our November theme, playing a game in a new way. So we can get some of those different island boards out. So I think we've kind of settled on Race to the Raft for this upcoming Wednesday with the Wills' live stream. And what else we got coming up? I think next month we're gonna do a little difference on our month in review stuff, but we'll get to that when we get closer. I might do some solo stuff. I got Thanksgiving break coming up, so I might do some solo plays, some live solo plays. We'll have all sorts of initial impressions coming up because we still got several games we got to get to the table for the first time. And yeah, I think that's about.
I just do what he tells me to. I just show up when I'm told. So
Fridays and every other Wednesday, and probably once a month on a Monday.
Okay.
Well, yeah, we're gonna do that month in review now, where we talk about all the games we played.
On Monday?
Yeah, Monday month in review.
Okay.
Month in review Monday.
Brain dead on Monday.
Kind of do the.
You is bad tonight trying to remember. You get me to do this
we have Monday, month in the review Monday, Wednesday with the Willses, 5 and Dime Friday. Kind of got the whole.
Oh, we need it.
I do top 10 Tuesdays.
Wow.
I do my top 10.
You do top 10 Tuesdays?
Sometimes.
See, I'm learning all kinds of new things tonight. You can tell how much I pay attention. Just in my own world.
Those aren't usually live. I usually film those ahead of time and just post them on Tuesdays. But when I do my Tuesdays, it's all that alliteration, you know. The school teacher getting those alliterations in there for the titles.
Okay.
But
I
yeah,
think we need Sunday Fun Day. Where we
that's a
play.
rhyme, not an alliteration.
Oh.
But yes, Sunday Fun Day. We could do Sunday Fun Day, where we play some fun games on a live Sunday.
I think I need to do my own live casts of some sort.
You're gonna solo play?
Do a
Oh,
no.
I was saying, oh, okay.
Something. I don't know.
She's gonna come and talk about something. Okay, I'll set it up and you can come talk about it.
I'll just put a bunch of topics in a bag. I'll draw out a topic and I'll just talk about it. I know a little bit of something.
It'll probably get more
things.
Come chat with Stacey.
Ooh. Stacey chat day.
Saturday with Stacey.
I don't know.
I don't know. Anyway, I think that's about it. If you have any suggestions for games in this range, let us know. Let us know what your top 5 or top 10 games in the 7.0 to 7.24 rating are. I think that's about it.
Trying to hurry up so I can catch the hockey game.
Oh, is it starting? Okay.
I don't know.
All right.
A lot of stuff. I just know what's going on.
All right, leave us some comments. What do you think about the games we talked about? Let us know any suggestions and leave us your lists. Oops, that's not going to work, is it?
I don't know.
Uh-oh. That didn't work. Oh, there we go. All right. If you like this video and want to see more, please hit that subscribe button up above. And if you want to see the rest of our 5 and Dimes, you can follow that link. Once again, this has been Where There's a Wills.
There's a play.
I'm Ian.
Stacey.
And we'll see you next